Have you ever noticed how much time we spend caring for our face, our hair, our skin, but almost none caring for the most powerful part of our womanhood? We stretch, we moisturize, we meditate. But when was the last time you gave conscious attention to your pelvic floor, the foundation of your feminine strength? Most women don't realize this. Your vagina isn't just tissue. It's living, responsive, intelligent muscle. It listens to how you move, how you breathe, how you think. It reacts to stress, to neglect, and yes, to love. So when women tell me, Dr. Berman, I feel loose, I feel disconnected, I don't think of it as a flaw. I think of it as a call from the body saying, please remember me. Every morning, before the world takes your energy, take 5 minutes to give your body back to yourself. Sit or stand tall, breathe deep into your lower belly. Feel that breath expand down into your pelvic bowl. On your exhale, gently lift the muscles you would use to stop the flow of urine. Hold and release. Not forced, not rushed, just awareness. This simple act, done with intention, rewires your connection to your feminine core. Every transformation begins with awareness. The body changes when the mind returns home to it. For most women, the pelvic floor, the very root of our feminine foundation, has been forgotten, silenced, or even shamed. We sit too long, we carry stress in our hips, and we disconnect from our sensual rhythm. Over time, this disconnection dulls sensitivity, weakens tone, and drains energy. But awareness changes everything. When you start paying attention to that part of your body, something subtle yet profound awakens. It's as if a dim light inside you starts to glow again. Every morning, when you wake up, your body is whispering instructions. The stiffness in your hips, the heaviness in your lower belly, the fatigue in your core, they're all signals. Not of aging, not of failure, but of disconnection. The first step to transformation is to listen. Awareness is not just noticing the problem. It's gently bringing energy where it's been forgotten. You don't need to force tightness. You simply need to invite aliveness back. When you become aware of your pelvic muscles, you begin to realize how much control and intelligence they actually have. These muscles aren't random. They are rhythmic, elastic, and deeply sensitive to your breath and your emotions. Every time you breathe deeply, your diaphragm moves downward, and your pelvic floor subtly responds. It lifts, lowers, and flows with that breath. When you breathe shallowly, when stress takes over, your pelvic muscles tighten defensively. When you breathe fully, they soften, expand, and come alive. This is why awareness is the first medicine. The simple act of noticing your breath, your posture, and your pelvic space begins to restore tone naturally. Awareness activates circulation. Blood flow brings oxygen, nutrients, and hormones that rejuvenate tissue. As circulation improves, the muscles begin to rebuild themselves from within. And when you combine awareness with movement, mindful, intentional movement, you create transformation. Try this. Stand tall in the morning. Roll your shoulders back, spine straight, chest open. Take a slow breath in and imagine the air filling your belly. As you exhale, gently lift the muscles deep inside your pelvis. Not by squeezing hard, but by feeling upward energy. Hold for a moment, then release. Do this 3 times. Then, as you move through your morning, brushing your teeth, stretching, making tea, stay aware of that space. Walk with the intention that every step strengthens your core. It may sound simple, but awareness transforms physiology. When your mind connects to a muscle, that muscle begins to fire differently. Studies show that mental focus can increase muscle activation even without heavy exercise. That means your awareness itself becomes a form of training. Your thoughts, your attention, and your breath become tools of restoration. This is the quiet science of feminine health, a science that modern medicine is only beginning to rediscover. You see, the female body was designed for resilience. It can stretch, heal, and rebuild with astonishing power. But that power only awakens when you work with it, not against it. For too long, women have been taught to see their bodies as problems to be fixed, instead of wisdom to be understood. We chase external solutions, creams, devices, surgeries, because we've forgotten that true rejuvenation happens from within. When awareness returns, healing begins. Daily movement is the second key, not the punishing kind that exhausts you, but the nourishing kind that awakens you. Movement keeps the pelvic floor alive. It stimulates blood flow, strengthens elasticity, and releases tension that builds up from sitting or stress. Every time you move your hips, stretch your spine, or engage your core, you are reminding your body of its natural rhythm. You can make this a ritual. Each morning, take a few minutes to move consciously. Circle your hips slowly, like a wave rolling through you. Feel your weight shifting from one foot to the other. Feel how your spine follows, how your breath deepens. Then, draw your awareness inward. Engage your pelvic floor softly. Lift and release, like a gentle heartbeat. This rhythm, done daily, rebuilds strength and coordination that no cream or device can replicate. Over 7 days, something beautiful happens. You begin to feel again. Sensations return that you thought were lost. You feel more grounded when you stand, more stable when you walk, more alive when you breathe. And intimacy begins to change too. Not because your body has been fixed, but because you've reconnected with it. You become more sensitive, more confident, more present. That's what natural tightening truly is. A return to presence. Awareness also rewires how your brain perceives your body. The more you focus on your pelvic space, the stronger the neural connection becomes. This is called neuromuscular re-education. It's the process of teaching your brain to communicate more effectively with your body. When that connection strengthens, muscle tone improves automatically. So tightening is not just a physical event, it's a neurological one. It begins in the mind and manifests in the body. Every woman I've ever worked with who committed to daily awareness and movement came back with the same realization. I didn't just feel tighter, I felt more me. Because it's not about vanity. It's about vitality. It's about reclaiming a part of yourself that has been quiet for too long. Awareness is self-respect. Movement is self-love. When you combine the two, you awaken a current of energy that transforms everything. Your mood, your confidence, your intimacy, your entire sense of being. Remember, your pelvic floor is part of a larger ecosystem. It supports your bladder, uterus, and bowels. It anchors your spine and stabilizes your core. When it weakens, you may feel heaviness, back pain, or reduced pleasure. But when it strengthens, your posture improves, your energy rises, your emotional state lifts. You literally stand taller, move freer, and radiate more presence. The change starts deep inside, but ripples outward into every aspect of your life. I often tell women to think of their pelvic floor as a garden. It needs daily attention. Not constant work, but consistent presence. If you water it with awareness, nourish it with breath, and move it with love, it will flourish. Ignore it and it withers. Your awareness is the sunlight. Your movement is the water. The result is a strong, supple, responsive core of feminine power. This is not about chasing perfection. It's about remembering connection. Your body is not asking to be fixed. It's asking to be felt. Each time you pause to breathe into your lower belly. Each time you move your hips in a circle. Each time you consciously lift and release your pelvic muscles. You are sending a message of renewal. You are saying, I choose to feel alive. And yes, you will feel physical results. Firmer tone, better control, increased sensitivity. But you'll also feel emotional results. Calmness, confidence, clarity. Because the pelvic floor is deeply connected to your nervous system. When it's tense or neglected, your body stays in a low-level state of stress. When it's relaxed and strong, your whole being shifts into balance. This is why awareness works so powerfully. It soothes both body and mind. There's a passage in Women Who Run with the Wolves that says every woman must reclaim her instinctual nature to feel whole again. Awareness is how we do that. When you tune into your body each morning, you begin to move from instinct, not obligation. You begin to sense what your body needs, rather than suppressing it. That instinct is wisdom. It knows how to heal you, how to strengthen you, how to guide you back to your natural rhythm. So each morning, begin again. Before your mind fills with lists and noise, take those 5 minutes. Stand tall, breathe, feel, move. Let your body lead. Notice the subtle sensations, the warmth, the pulse, the soft strength awakening. That's your body remembering itself. Over time, that awareness will spill into everything you do. How you walk, how you sit, how you love. You'll carry yourself differently, not from ego, but from embodiment. And if doubt ever creeps in, if you wonder whether something this simple can really create change, remember that nature always rewards consistency. The ocean carves rock by repetition, not force. Your body transforms the same way. Tiny, conscious movements each day become deep, lasting change. The woman who practices awareness for 7 days may begin to see results. The woman who continues beyond that begins to transform her entire experience of being alive. Awareness is the bridge between your outer life and your inner vitality. Once you cross it, you'll never look at your body the same way again. You'll stop asking, "How do I tighten?" and start asking, "How do I connect?" Because connection is the true cure. It's the root of tightness, pleasure, and radiance. And once you have that, you'll realize the goal was never just to change your body. It was to remember your power. So tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes before you rush into your day, place your hand over your lower belly. Breathe deep. Feel your energy there. Move gently. Smile softly. Let your awareness sink into the center of your being. Do it again the next morning. And the next, watch how your relationship with your body changes. Watch how your confidence grows. Watch how your energy expands. Because this is not just a 7-day challenge. It's the beginning of coming home to yourself. Transformation doesn't happen in hours. It happens in moments of presence repeated over time. The miracle isn't in what you do. It's in what you feel while doing it. Awareness is the most powerful movement there is. It is your key to reclaiming tightness, strength, and sensual aliveness, naturally, beautifully, and completely from within. When we speak of feminine strength, most people imagine physical power or resilience in the face of challenge. But true feminine strength is far subtler. It is a living intelligence that resides in the body, in the pelvic floor, in the center of your being. And the bridge to accessing that strength is the mind-body connection. Every thought you have, every emotion you carry, every tension you hold in your day-to-day life reverberates through your pelvic muscles. Stress, fear, shame, and anxiety are not abstract. They have physical fingerprints, and they can weaken your core and dull your intimacy. Intimacy is more than a physical act. It's an exchange of presence, energy, and trust between yourself and another, or even between yourself and your own body. But if your body is disconnected, if your awareness has wandered, the energy of intimacy becomes muted. This is why mind-body connection is so critical. When you cultivate awareness of your pelvic floor, your breath, and your inner energy, you create a feedback loop. Your body responds to your attention, your mind grows in confidence, and your capacity for pleasure and connection expands. Consider the way tension manifests physically. When a woman carries stress, her hips tighten, her pelvic muscles constrict, and her nervous system stays on alert. Over time, this tension not only affects her comfort and posture, it diminishes sensitivity and the capacity for deep, satisfying intimacy. But when you bring consciousness to the body, when you pause, breathe, and connect, the nervous system relaxes, blood flows, and muscles respond with renewed elasticity. This is the dance of the mind and body. Attention strengthens, relaxation heals, and presence awakens dormant energy. Intimacy and strength are inseparable. True sexual vitality isn't just about physical technique. It is about emotional and energetic presence. When a woman feels safe in her body, she feels powerful. When she feels powerful, she feels attractive, confident, and alive. And this power comes from knowing, at the deepest level, that her body responds to her attention. This is why daily practices of awareness, breathwork, and gentle movement are transformative. They teach the nervous system that it is safe to be present, that pleasure and strength are inherent to the body, and that connection is not something you have to earn. It is something you reclaim. Every conscious lift and release of the pelvic floor signals to the brain, I am here. I am aware. I am in control. The brain, in turn, sends messages of readiness, alertness, and vitality to the muscles. This loop strengthens tone, responsiveness, and awareness simultaneously. It also strengthens emotional resilience, because a body that is attended to becomes a vessel of confidence. Feminine strength is never just about appearance or sexual performance. It is about presence, poise, and energy that radiates from the core, And there is something magical about the way intimacy deepens when the mind-body connection is restored. Many women report that once they begin practicing awareness and breath-based pelvic exercises, their capacity for emotional closeness grows alongside physical sensation. They feel more grounded in themselves, more attuned to their partner, and more fully able to experience pleasure without distraction. This is because intimacy is never only physical. It is energetic, emotional, and psychological. When the body and mind are connected, you become fully available to your own pleasure and to shared connection. Your pelvic floor is not just muscle. It is a sensory hub, a repository of energy, and a communicator between the body and the brain. When women learn to consciously engage these muscles, they unlock more than just tone. They unlock vitality, presence, and sensual awareness. Breath becomes a tool for expansion. Movement becomes a ritual of reconnection, and attention becomes a bridge between strength and pleasure. Every squeeze, lift, or subtle movement reinforces the message that the body is alive, responsive, and deserving of care. Consider this: the vagus nerve, one of the longest and most influential nerves in the body, connects the pelvic region with the brain and the heart. When the pelvic floor is engaged with awareness, signals travel upward, influencing mood, stress levels, and emotional state. A woman who takes the time to breathe into her pelvis and feel it respond is not only tightening muscles. She is calming the nervous system, balancing hormones, and fostering resilience. The mind and body work as a team. One cannot thrive without the other. This is why feminine strength is holistic. It is not isolated to physical capability. It encompasses confidence, presence, emotional intelligence, sensuality, and the ability to give and receive pleasure fully. When women reconnect with the mind-body connection, they reclaim authority over their own experience. They no longer rely on external validation or temporary solutions to feel empowered. They access a source of strength that lives inside them, at the intersection of awareness, breath, and muscle tone. And intimacy, in its deepest sense, begins with self-intimacy. A woman who understands her own body, who listens to it without judgment, who engages it with respect and attention, can then enter any relationship from a place of fullness. Her energy is balanced, her responses are authentic, and her presence is magnetic. Mind-body connection allows her to give and receive intimacy without fear, without tension, and without compromise. She is grounded, she is present, and she is free. Breathwork, gentle pelvic lifts, and mindful awareness also retrain the brain to release shame. Shame often lives in the pelvis, carried through generations, reinforced by culture, silenced by discomfort. By consciously breathing into the pelvic floor, by feeling and honoring it, you dissolve layers of shame. You remind yourself that your body is sacred, responsive, and capable of pleasure and power. This is liberation. This is reclaiming strength at its deepest level. Strength and intimacy feed each other. When the mind-body connection is strong, the body feels alive, desire flows freely, and confidence grows naturally. Women begin to notice posture shifts, increased energy, and a subtle spark of vitality in daily life. This isn't cosmetic. It's neurological, hormonal, and energetic. The body literally reorganizes itself in response to conscious attention. And the more consistent the practice, the more profound the transformation. Even outside sexual experiences, mind-body connection shapes daily life. It informs how you stand, how you walk, how you carry yourself in a room. Awareness of your core creates stability in movement, ease in posture, and calm in the nervous system. Strength becomes effortless because it arises from alignment and presence rather than strain. Your core becomes your anchor, your center, and your source of grounded power. Intimacy then becomes a reflection of this inner strength. When a woman is fully present in her body, she is fully present in her relationships. Her energy is inviting, not needy. Her touch is aware, not mechanical. Her confidence is radiant, not defensive. This is the transformation that daily connection fosters. A woman who knows herself, inhabits her body fully, and brings both strength and softness into every interaction. Every gentle pelvic lift, every conscious breath, every moment of attention reinforces the connection between mind and body. Over 7 days, you may notice subtle shifts, heightened sensitivity, stronger tone, greater confidence. Over 7 months or years, these shifts compound into a profound transformation. A body that is strong, alive, responsive, and fully integrated with the mind. Feminine strength is not about forcing or controlling. It is about listening, engaging, and honoring the natural intelligence of the body. Intimacy becomes effortless when this connection is established. Women who practice mind-body integration report that they experience deeper emotional connection, more fulfilling sexual experiences, and greater ease in expressing desire. This is because the body no longer hides from itself. It is awake. It is responsive. It is confident. Pleasure is amplified because the nervous system trusts the signals. The muscles respond with awareness, and the mind relaxes into presence. Finally, the mind-body connection reminds us that our power is cyclical, not linear. Feminine strength flows like water. It expands and contracts. It lifts and releases. It responds to rhythm. By tuning into the body, you honor this natural cycle. Awareness and movement are the keys to riding the wave of vitality rather than resisting it. Every day you practice, you cultivate strength that is alive, adaptable, and profoundly feminine. This is the gift of mind-body integration. Strength that is not imposed, intimacy that is natural, and power that is rooted in presence. When a woman fully inhabits her body, she no longer seeks external solutions. She carries her own vitality within. This is the essence of feminine strength and intimacy: awareness, connection, and the courage to feel fully alive in your own skin. Consistency is the secret that most women overlook. When it comes to pelvic rejuvenation, it is not the hours you spend, the force you exert, or the intensity of a single session that creates lasting results. True transformation comes from showing up, day after day, even in small ways, and honoring your body with regular attention. Think of it like cultivating a garden. One heavy downpour won't make flowers bloom. It is the gentle, steady watering, the sunlight each morning, the patient tending that allows life to flourish. Your pelvic floor is like that garden. It thrives on rhythm and repetition. Every morning when you engage with it, lifting and releasing, breathing deeply, connecting mind and body, you are planting seeds. Over time, those seeds grow into strength, tone, and awareness. The body responds best to regular signals rather than sporadic bursts of effort. One intense session might make you feel something in the moment, but it cannot rewrite the neural pathways, rebuild muscle memory, or restore elasticity in the same way consistent practice does. Consistency also rewires the brain. When the nervous system experiences repeated activation of the pelvic floor, it learns to recognize the muscles, to respond more efficiently, and to maintain tone naturally. This process is called neuromuscular adaptation. The more regularly you practice, the stronger the feedback loop between your mind and your body becomes. Over time, your pelvic floor becomes more responsive not just during exercise, but throughout daily life, while standing, walking, lifting, or even sitting. Strength and tightness begin to become the default state, rather than something you chase during dedicated sessions. Intensity without consistency can backfire. Many women try to force results through aggressive exercises, hoping to tighten quickly. But the pelvic floor is delicate and sophisticated. Overexertion can cause strain, fatigue, or even long-term dysfunction. The goal is not to exhaust, but to awaken. Gentle, mindful engagement, repeated consistently, builds sustainable strength and vitality. It teaches your muscles to fire properly, your connective tissue to regain elasticity, and your nervous system to remain balanced. Consistency also builds trust between your mind and your body. If you only occasionally focus on your pelvic floor, your brain perceives it as an anomaly, not a priority. But when you return day after day, you signal that this area of your body matters. Your nervous system begins to release tension. Your muscles respond with fluidity, and your awareness deepens. The result is a body that feels alive, grounded, and responsive, not tight out of fear or strain, but empowered through familiarity and rhythm. Even just 5 minutes every morning can create profound changes if done with commitment. It's not about hours of exercise, it's about presence and repetition. As you consistently engage, subtle shifts accumulate. You notice increased control when you cough or sneeze, improved stability in your posture, and more sensation during intimate moments. These changes are often invisible at first, but they compound into a transformation that is both physical and energetic. Consistency also influences emotional well-being. When you dedicate time daily to connect with your pelvic floor, you reinforce a message to yourself. I matter. My body matters. I am worthy of attention and care. This repetition builds confidence and reduces shame, which is often held unconsciously in the pelvis. A consistent practice not only tightens muscles, it restores a sense of self-respect, safety, and feminine power. Another key point is that the pelvic floor is interconnected with other systems of the body. Hormonal balance, circulation, and even digestion respond to regular activation of the core. By making pelvic exercises a consistent habit, you support more than just muscle tone. You support overall vitality. This is why sporadic, high-intensity efforts rarely produce the same deep, systemic benefits as daily practice. Your body thrives on predictability and rhythm. It grows stronger when it can anticipate and respond to gentle, repeated cues. Consistency also allows for incremental progress. Just like learning any skill, playing an instrument, practicing yoga, or mastering a language, small, repeated efforts compound over time. One morning, you may notice your awareness of the muscles is sharper. The next, your lift feels higher or your breath deeper. Within a week, subtle changes become visible. Within a month, your body carries itself differently. Intimacy becomes richer, posture improves, and energy flows more freely. This gradual build ensures that results are lasting, not temporary. The science supports this approach. Studies on pelvic floor rehabilitation consistently show that frequency and regularity predict long-term success more than intensity. A woman who performs gentle exercises daily often experiences more significant improvement than one who does an intense routine once or twice a week. The body responds to the message of presence, not the force of exertion. Your muscles remember attention more than strain. Consistency also cultivates mindfulness. When you commit to daily practice, you are training your mind as well as your body. Each morning, you check in, breathe, feel, and move. You become more attuned to subtle signals: tightness, tension, fatigue, or release. You notice how emotions influence muscle tone and how breath can shift energy. Over time, this mindfulness becomes automatic. You carry awareness into daily life, not just during exercises, strengthening both physical and emotional resilience. The contrast between intensity and consistency is stark. Intensity promises quick results, but often comes with risk of injury, burnout, or frustration when immediate outcomes are not visible. Consistency promises transformation, not instant gratification, but profound, sustainable change. It is steady, it is patient, it is reliable, and it is the method by which the pelvic floor regains its natural elasticity, strength, and responsiveness. 7 days of consistent practice can awaken dormant awareness. 4 weeks can rebuild tone and improve control. Several months of regular engagement can transform your posture, energy, and sexual vitality. The results are cumulative, compounding like interest in a bank account, growing stronger and more resilient over time. Consistency also builds self-discipline, which is itself empowering. When you dedicate 5 minutes each morning to your pelvic health, you prove to yourself that you can honor your body, even amid a busy life. This discipline spills over into other areas: work, relationships, emotional regulation, and self-care. You begin to trust your own commitment, and that trust enhances confidence, poise, and presence. Finally, consistency is the embodiment of respect. It says, "My body matters every day." Intensity alone cannot communicate care. Force without rhythm is external, fleeting, and sometimes damaging. Gentle, repeated engagement communicates love, attention, and reverence. Over time, this respect restores not only tone and function, but the sense of ownership and agency over your own body. When you combine awareness, gentle movement, and consistent practice, your pelvic floor begins to respond as it was designed, with strength, elasticity, and vitality. Tightness emerges not as a goal forced through effort, but as a natural byproduct of care, attention, and repetition. Energy flows, pleasure intensifies, confidence rises, and presence becomes magnetic. Consistency is the foundation. Awareness is the spark. Movement is the bridge. Together, they create transformation that lasts far beyond a week or a month. It becomes the way you inhabit your body, the way you experience intimacy, and the way you carry feminine power into every aspect of your life. Blood flow, breath, and posture are the unsung heroes of pelvic health and feminine vitality. Many women focus solely on exercises, on squeezing and lifting. But true restoration of tightness and sensitivity comes from understanding the interplay of these three elements. They work together like a symphony, each one supporting the others, creating harmony, function, and energy in the pelvic region. Neglect one and the system falters. Nurture all three, and transformation happens naturally. Let's start with blood flow. Blood carries life, oxygen, nutrients, and hormonal signals to every tissue in the body. The pelvic floor, like any muscle group, thrives on circulation. When blood flows freely, tissue heals, muscle fibers regain elasticity, and nerve endings awaken. Without proper circulation, muscles weaken, connective tissue stiffens, and sensitivity diminishes. This is why many women feel numbness, heaviness, or decreased pleasure. They are experiencing the effects of restricted flow. Daily movement, intentional posture, and gentle engagement of the pelvic floor improve circulation, awakening the tissues and enhancing tone naturally. Breath is the bridge between mind and body. When you inhale deeply, the diaphragm presses down, gently massaging the pelvic organs. When you exhale, the pelvic floor lifts in response. This natural rhythm encourages elasticity and responsiveness. Shallow breathing, which many of us adopt under stress, starves the pelvic region of oxygen and limits the muscle's ability to contract fully. But when you practice deep, diaphragmatic breathing, you flood the pelvic tissues with oxygen, enhance circulation, and signal your nervous system to relax. Breath is not just oxygen, it is an activator of tone, sensitivity, and connection. Posture completes the triad. The alignment of your spine, pelvis, and hips determines how effectively your muscles can engage. Slouched shoulders, tilted pelvis, or a collapsed lower back compresses the pelvic floor, restricts blood flow, and reduces nerve sensitivity. Conversely, standing or sitting with alignment, hips stacked over knees, spine long, shoulders relaxed, creates the perfect conditions for the pelvic floor to function optimally. Posture allows blood to circulate freely, muscles to fire efficiently, and nerves to transmit sensation unhindered. It is literally the foundation on which feminine power rests. The synergy of blood flow, breath, and posture is profound. When you align your body, breathe fully, and allow circulation to move freely, every pelvic lift becomes more effective, every contraction more natural, and every sensation more vivid. Sensitivity and tightness are not forced. They emerge because the tissues are nourished, the muscles are coordinated, and the nervous system is calm. This is the elegance of natural restoration. The body is designed to respond when given the right conditions. Daily rituals can amplify this effect. Begin each morning with a posture check. Lengthen your spine, roll your shoulders back, and gently tuck your pelvis under to create neutral alignment. Then take several deep breaths into the lower belly, feeling the rise and fall of the pelvic floor with each cycle. Finally, engage the muscles gently. Lift, hold, release, while maintaining breath and posture. This combination trains the muscles, stimulates circulation, and awakens nerve endings all at once. Blood flow, breath, and posture also influence hormonal balance, which is critical for vaginal health. Adequate circulation ensures nutrients reach the tissue, while proper oxygenation through breath supports tissue regeneration. Posture affects lymphatic drainage, reducing inflammation and promoting overall pelvic wellness. When all three elements work together consistently, tightness, elasticity, and sensitivity return naturally, without the need for artificial interventions or invasive procedures. Furthermore, these three elements enhance the mind-body connection. Breath brings awareness to the present moment. Posture reinforces alignment and grounding. Blood flow provides feedback through sensation. Together, they create a heightened state of embodiment. A woman who practices these techniques not only feels her pelvic floor responding, she feels herself fully alive, present, and connected to her body. This connection strengthens confidence, enhances intimacy, and amplifies pleasure. Even subtle adjustments matter. Tiny improvements in posture, lifting the chest, drawing the shoulder blades down, tilting the pelvis just slightly, can dramatically increase muscle engagement and circulation. Slow, deep breathing synchronized with gentle lifts recruits more fibers in the pelvic floor than rapid, disconnected movements. And mindful attention to the flow of blood through the tissue awakens sensitivity that may have been dulled over years of neglect. This is why experienced practitioners often emphasize holistic approaches. Tightness is not only a matter of contracting muscle. It is about creating conditions for the body to thrive, allowing blood to nourish, breath to energize, and posture to support. Together, these elements create a fertile ground where natural tone, sensitivity, and vitality can flourish. Moreover, breath, posture, and circulation interact with emotional and psychological states. Stress restricts blood flow, causes shallow breathing, and collapses posture. By restoring these elements consciously, women not only tighten their muscles, but also release stored tension, reduce anxiety, and reclaim a sense of power over their own bodies. Tightness and sensitivity thus become a reflection of overall well-being, not simply isolated physical function. In practice, integrating these principles is simple but transformative. Begin with posture. Find your neutral spine, lengthen your torso, and ground your pelvis. Add breath. Inhale into the belly, expanding the pelvic floor. Then exhale, lifting gently. Incorporate movement, small lifts, pulses, or stretches that activate the pelvic muscles while maintaining alignment and mindful breathing. Repeat daily, and you create a feedback loop that strengthens tone, increases circulation, enhances nerve sensitivity, and fosters deep mind-body connection. As days turn into weeks, the results compound. Muscles become firmer but not rigid. Tissue becomes elastic but not overstretched. Nerve endings become alive, not overstimulated. Sensitivity increases naturally because the body is nourished, supported, and engaged holistically. This is the beauty of working with nature rather than against it. Tightness emerges as a byproduct of balance, health, and awareness, not as a forced outcome. Blood flow, breath, and posture are also portable tools. They are accessible anytime, anywhere. You do not need machines, devices, or medications. Awareness alone allows you to check posture while standing in line, breathe deeply during a commute, or subtly lift and release your pelvic floor at a desk. These small, consistent actions accumulate, reinforcing tone and sensitivity throughout the day. When you fully integrate these practices, the body begins to function like a well-tuned instrument. Each inhale energizes, each exhale balances, each aligned stance supports. The pelvic floor responds effortlessly, and tightness becomes a natural state of being. Sensitivity returns not because of external stimulation, but because the body is alive, responsive, and fully nourished from within. Finally, this triad of blood flow, breath, and posture also enhances sexual and emotional intimacy. Sensory awareness is heightened, muscular control is improved, and emotional presence deepens. A woman who practices these techniques experiences pleasure more fully, engages with partners more consciously, and feels more grounded in herself. Tightness is no longer just a physical attribute. It becomes a reflection of vitality, confidence, and holistic wellness. Self-care is often misunderstood as indulgence, something optional or superficial. But when it comes to feminine health, self-care is foundational. It is the daily acknowledgement that your body matters, that your energy matters, that your vitality is worth nurturing. Rituals, simple, repeated actions that honor your body, are powerful because they create a structure of respect and attention. They teach your nervous system, your muscles, and your mind that you are worthy of care, and that lesson radiates into every aspect of life. When women engage in self-care for the pelvic floor, even in small ways, they are sending a profound message to themselves. I am present. I am attentive. I am alive. This can be as simple as 5 minutes of mindful pelvic lifts, as little as one deep, focused breath into the lower belly, or a gentle hip circle to awaken blood flow. These rituals cultivate awareness, which is the first step toward rebuilding strength and sensitivity naturally. Over time, these small, consistent practices compound, transforming both the body and the psyche. Confidence grows when self-care becomes a priority, because you begin to inhabit your body fully. You no longer ignore tension, discomfort, or disconnection. Instead, you address it proactively, with presence and attention. This creates trust in yourself, trust that you can respond to your body's needs, honor its signals, and support its vitality. Confidence is not just about how you appear to others. It is how fully you inhabit your own skin, how secure you feel in your movements, and how aligned you are with your own energy. Vitality emerges naturally from these rituals because the body thrives on attention. Blood flow increases, muscles awaken, nerves reconnect, and energy begins to circulate freely. When a woman practices mindful engagement of her pelvic floor, she is essentially activating her body's life force. This is not just physical, it is emotional and energetic. The practice restores rhythm, presence, and responsiveness, which are the hallmarks of a vibrant, resilient body. Self-care rituals also help release stored tension and trauma that may reside in the pelvic region. The pelvis is a container for emotion. Stress, anxiety, shame, and even unresolved trauma can accumulate there over years. Gentle, consistent rituals that combine breath, awareness, and movement allow the body to release what no longer serves it. As tension dissolves, the muscles regain elasticity, sensitivity improves, and the body begins to feel lighter, more responsive, and more alive. There is a psychological component too. The very act of committing to daily self-care reinforces discipline, self-respect, and personal agency. You demonstrate to yourself that your needs matter, that your body deserves attention, and that you are capable of nurturing your own wellness. This empowerment is transformative. Confidence becomes not about comparison or validation from others, but about the internal assurance that you are whole, capable, and worthy. Rituals can be simple, yet profoundly effective. A morning practice could involve standing tall, taking 3 deep diaphragmatic breaths, and performing gentle lifts of the pelvic floor. It could include a short walk with attention to posture, or mindful stretching that opens the hips and lower back. In the evening, self-care might include lying on your back, placing a hand over your lower belly, breathing deeply, and noticing how the muscles respond. These practices are not merely physical. They are meditative, restorative, and energizing. The consistency of rituals compounds their effect. 5 minutes each day may seem insignificant, but over time, the benefits become exponential. Muscle tone improves, sensitivity returns, and energy flows more freely. Emotional balance strengthens and confidence grows. You begin to move through the world differently, grounded, present, and radiating natural vitality. Self-care becomes not a task to check off, but a source of empowerment that nourishes body, mind, and spirit. Importantly, self-care rituals cultivate a sense of ownership over your own health and well-being. You no longer wait for external solutions, creams, surgeries, or advice to dictate your experience. You reclaim agency, learning that your body responds to your attention, your movement, and your intention. This autonomy fosters empowerment because it demonstrates that you hold the keys to your own vitality. Self-care also strengthens intimacy. When you honor your body through rituals, you are more present in your relationships, more attuned to your partner, and more capable of experiencing pleasure without distraction. You carry confidence not only in posture and movement, but in the energy you radiate. Tightness, sensitivity, and responsiveness emerge as natural byproducts of care, not forced results. Pleasure becomes richer because the body is fully engaged, aware, and nurtured. Rituals create a feedback loop. Attention strengthens muscles. Improved circulation energizes tissue. Breath restores relaxation. And mindfulness reinforces connection. Each element supports the others, creating an integrated system of physical, emotional, and energetic wellness. Over time, the body remembers this pattern. Tightness and vitality become baseline states, maintained effortlessly because the nervous system, muscles, and mind are aligned through consistent care. The practice of self-care also fosters patience. Real transformation, muscle tone, sensitivity, and energetic vitality cannot be rushed. Rituals teach the body and mind to move at their own pace, honoring natural rhythms. Over 7 days, you notice awareness growing. Over a month, subtle improvements emerge. Over months, profound transformation takes place. The body is not coerced into change. It is invited to respond, nurtured to evolve, and supported to flourish. When women commit to self-care rituals, they also model empowerment for themselves and others. They demonstrate that wellness is not accidental, not reserved for the privileged or fortunate. It is cultivated, They show that small, intentional acts of attention can lead to remarkable changes in health, energy, and confidence. This modeling reinforces internal belief and external influence, creating a cycle of inspiration and self-mastery. Ultimately, self-care rituals do more than strengthen the pelvic floor. They restore wholeness. They reconnect the body and mind, releasing tension, awakening energy, and cultivating confidence. Tightness and sensitivity are byproducts of this holistic practice, emerging naturally when the body is respected, nourished, and engaged. Through daily attention, awareness, and movement, women reclaim vitality not as a goal, but as a state of being, a living, breathing reflection of their worth, presence, and feminine power. Every time you engage in these rituals, you reinforce a profound truth. Your body is intelligent, your energy is potent, and your life is yours to steward. Confidence arises not from what others see, but from what you honor within. Vitality emerges not from external solutions, but from consistent care, breath, posture, and awareness. And the most extraordinary transformation is the quiet, powerful recognition that you are fully capable of nurturing your own strength, pleasure, and life force.